Yes.
Hi, Line.
Hi.
Today we will speak about your piece, your NFT piece, portrait. Can you give just a short background of the piece? How idea of the piece emerged, right?
Yes. The piece is sort of what do you call it? An offspring of a long process in actually trying to understand all the new technologies with Web3 and how to actually find a way to bridge our physical world with the digital world. And so portrait is this offspring of this process, and actually it has become a very complicated, a very hyper complex work in one sense, and on the other hand it's such a simple, elegant, new digital what do you call it, Gesamtkunstwerk in a way. So yes, and first of all, would you like me to tell you a little about what was important for me when I started doing?
Yes. Why you did particularly this piece, and particularly as NFT, right?
Yes, and exactly. You know, as artists, and especially as an artist like me, I don't get all the streams on Spotify. It's a struggle to live from my art. And at the same time, when I look out in the world, I know artists from not as privileged as me out in the world, they can hardly also not live from their art. And when I started to look into the whole philosophy around blockchain, Web3, there was a lot of discussions in that community about fairness, about transparency, about ownership. And when it came to ownership, this was something that I really found interesting, because the ownership of art could maybe be something else, that I, the artist, I own everything, and then I am depending on business to earn my money. But to actually look into if we create a co-owned model for ownership on the arts, then we don't need 1 million streams or more. Then we maybe need a solid but smaller community around the way I do art. And at once, when I started thinking about that, the artwork itself had to comply with some of these ideas. And I do always find it most interesting to actually relate to the society in the what are we dealing with right now. And so to think that, and in one hand, I was sort of inspired by not having any female in our Western community, where we have all these monuments around, and they are all war heroes or men, and the balance between what kind of idols do we have in these monuments in the public spaces. There's something wrong with that narrative. So I thought, well, I would like to create a co-owned monument, but from a person who has humanity as her most important task in life. And then if we're going to create that monument, it makes sense that we co-own this monument. So if we earn any money, then her work will benefit from the whole situation around this thing. So this was the first, this was the starting point to actually try to create a monument, a digital monument that could be co-owned through as an NFT.
Yes.
On Web3, and also to speak about fairness, about transparency, and to have a dialogue with all owners of this monument. And so we created things around. We created a plinth, because every monument has a plinth, and normally it's a very solid thing. But we created a physical plinth who was like in equilibrium, very balanced.
Yes.
Physical thing that if you took away one of the stones on it, it would collapse.
Yes.
And that should be some sort of illustration of the world situation. And then we had the whole content of the monument was food, because also the poor people out in the world, they need food. We need food. When we eat food together, I think it's a peaceful thing when we sit down and eat. But also the climate changes need that we think about to change our attitude to how we transport food, what kind of food we need to do a lot of things with that. So we ended up asking the General Secretary of DanChurchAid. She's a very powerful person in Denmark. She said she has the biggest aid organization, international aid organization in Denmark. She's out in the whole world helping people in need. And we asked her to eat a climate-friendly meal. And then now comes all the digital things. We had it recorded in 3D volumetric video.
Yes.
So that means it's a very new technology. It has a lot of digital holes. So the whole aesthetic with the 3D volumetric video is very rough in a way. So you will see, if you see it, you can't display the glass when she's drinking, because the video can't record it. And then we decided to create an app. So I had developers to make an app, and then I had a developer to create the NFT concept. So when you can buy different types of ownership of the monument. So if you buy, and then you get the app on your phone, and you can then, there are different levels of that. So this is in short. Yes. And then the whole composition is then I created from the concrete sounds of the eating.
Yes.
I made an amazing and really beautiful sort of symphonic soundscape related to all the eating sounds. So you get from all the sounds from eating and stones and wood and cuts, you have this 3D soundscape together with it. And so, and then we have then had eating performances where we eat in silence together with her on the telephone. I will send you some pictures of that. It's very touching, actually, to be 12 people sitting, and then we ask her to join us on the telephones, and then then our own sounds, and then 12 telephones actually come with the sounds. So,
and why? How you choose the title?
Portrait. It's because it's a portrait of her in a way. I mean,
and how you choose? Yes, and how you choose her, right?
I chose her because I had, and I'm going to make 3 more iterations, but because this is also part of the whole. So the overtitle is Portrait, and then we have Portrait of Birgitte Qvist-Sørensen, and the next portrait will be a scientist researching in climate changes and ice, also a woman, who's really fantastic. And so we have also a third and a fourth. So we have 4 iterations, and these 4 iterations is then the full NFT in a way. So if you buy an NFT now you have the first experience. The next experience will be a generative, also a portrait, but made from her research result. Will make it generative, so that the visual and the sound will depend on her research. So we'll make some rules for that, and then it will, and yes. So in the end, when this process is done, you will be the owner of 4 women or other underrepresented groups. I haven't decided the last 2 yet, but another way to highlight people that in a heroic way are doing something for humanity and society. This is my wish. So instead of making a war general on a public space in Copenhagen, I'm doing this in the digital public space. Yeah. Got it. Does it make sense?
Yes, it makes sense. Yes. So it's like artwork, which is present, like could be present in any home, in any place, right?
Yeah, that's then the very interesting thing, because in the end we will be able to let these people meet. So the General Secretary of DanChurchAid will meet the researcher of ice, and we can make people meet and eat and experience and talk. So
yes,
but in yeah.
Yes, and what about a sensorial experience, right? You mentioned some things. For example, you mentioned this eating, right? What else was important? What kind of sounds or visuals you wanted to create, right? In order to what kind of impact it would create to
it has really been. I think it has been very problematic, to be honest, to experience all these profile photo NFTs on Twitter, for instance. So all this, let's make quick money, and then you make Bored Ape, or you make all these NFT, and it's interesting, but it's not really artistic the way I am an artist.
Yes.
So I've been looking very much for content that was sort of building a bridge from the real world and into this digital world.
Yes.
So that we sort of was, so it's, I think sometimes when you look at the screen and you have the experience of something which is, when you see new films and everything is so refined
Yes.
in a way when it's animated and all this. So I've been thinking a lot about how can I make it in a way present.
Yes.
Make something that you can almost, when you see this, you can almost feel her, and you get really a sense of also the person she is in the way
Yes.
she's eating. So it's really a portrait of her.
Yes.
And the food, as soon as you see people eating, it gets so real, it gets so concrete, and you hear the sounds, and for some people there is a lot of shame going into making sounds of eating, but here they experience actually music out of something which normally we will try to hide, all these very small noised sounds that is related to it. So I've been I've really tried to see if I could make it work to be in a way also rough in the aesthetics.
Good.
So I've been working with stone, with copper, with ice, with glasses, really with a good sound in the glasses, with knives, with cuttings, to very, very clear sounds in a way that everyone understands when you cut something. Everyone knows that sound, and everyone knows the sound if you slurp.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
All these things I've tried to. I think normally we are not recognizing these sounds because we sort them away, but here in the silence, then it becomes very evident in a way.
Yes.
So it's very little process, but it's still very
Got it. And I just remember that I interrupted you when you start answering the question, why title portrait?
Uh-huh.
And then why title portrait? Why you choose that title?
Portrait it's portraying maybe who we are in 2022. I mean, there is a lot of changes going on for the last years, both with the way we need to have another look on diversity, on representation, on women, on art, and we have had the corona with a lot of silence and a lot of aloneness, and now we have the war, and so the work, of course, it's a portrait of these fantastic, clever women with a lot of power, but it's also like a portrait of our time, because it becomes it's very clear that this video was made in 2022 in a way. You will be able to see that and understand it. Also because it's the beginning of new technologies. So the whole, just to let you know, no one, to tell people about NFTs or Web3 or blockchain technology. And then, I'm 62 and I was the first, and I'm a woman, I'm 62, and I was the first in Denmark to actually have an NFT on OpenSea.
Okay, got it.
And no one understands it. And now it's coming slowly, but I'm in a way, I'm the exception, because usually it will be the nerds or some rich men, or I don't know what. So, so to sort of, to make, I think in 5 years or 10 years, there is a lot of this that will be mainstream. A lot of this technology will go into our everyday life in different ways, and it will become, I mean, a lot of the children playing online, they already maybe have some sort of trade with skins as NFTs, and the consciousness about this Web3 technologies is changing. And also, especially, I've been waiting also for Ethereum to change platform so that it's now a proof of stake instead of proof of work.
Yes.
Because then it's much more climate friendly, because that was I was attacked when I started talking about this. There were really angry people who thought that an artist should not in any way go into the blockchain technology. But my position is that if artists co-develop these technologies, they will be much more intelligent, and because artists often come with relevant critique, and artists also maybe change the mindset about this. So, for instance, I don't know how many artists that actually are selling their app experience with, like what I'm doing. I haven't heard of anyone else who developed an app, especially so for you, and you can get a lot, there is a lot of content on the app, and I can actually push more content into it along the way. So, and the people who are co-owning my NFT, they have a say. So they have a say on the next art, on the next portrait I will do. So we are having, it's a community we are building, and they can actually, they will have a say because it's a co-ownership. And also, every time this, every time there is a sale in this system, DanChurchAid will have a portion. So if this monument of Birgitte Qvist-Sørensen suddenly is a lot of money worth, and there is a sale of it, then there will always be a portion of the income going to her. And my, no one can change my earning, or you know, I have all the I call them inter-agents. So my developer, the 3D video people, the sound engineers, my producer, everyone that has been interacting with.
How big was the team? How big was the team?
Not so big. As I say, I have had a producer, a developer, the video and the sound, and then of course the Birgitte Qvist-Sørensen. It's not that.
And it's this NFT, right? What was issued,
and the
right?
promotion also. They all have an NFT. So if there is a sale, we have already agreed in the smart contract.
Yes.
It cannot be changed. So if we sell an NFT, they will get crypto into their wallets.
Yes. How many NFTs there are, and what does it mean to what I own by Robert? Let's say I would buy this one part of NFT. What rights I have, right?
You will have, first of all, you will have the app and the RR experience. So you can bring this woman to your home table,
Yes. Okay. If I don't have an NFT, I cannot do that, right?
If you don't have an NFT, you can't take her home.
Yes. Got it. What? Yes.
And then you will have posters of the menu.
Yes.
So you can, at home, you can make the menu. So you can cook what she is eating. So you can sit and eat with her and your friends and family.
Yes.
So that's what. And then you will have. She's holding a speech.
Yes.
Also in 3D volumetric video, and there are some sound poems. And we have so this is, you will have access to this. And then when I do the next artwork, you will automatically also own that. Some
part. Okay. And what was, I don't know, there was one NFT, right? Or how many NFTs there was issued?
I can't remember. I think it's around 100.
100. Okay.
Yeah.
100 NFTs.
So, yeah.
And this one NFT, right? They're all an all application, right? The code to application is this NFT, right? This is the right to have access to that. Yes.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, because and if it's just a proof of, it's some sort of a license you get.
Yes, and it's like key, right? I got key.
I can show you here. This is not the full, because we are still waiting for Apple to, but here you see, you come into the app. Can you see it?
Yes, yes.
And in here, there will be all the features in here. So the only thing I have right now is the possibility of placing her. Let me see where I can place her. Can I place her? It's because I have to be. Yeah. Right now, I think it's too dark here. Oh, there she is. Okay.
I see. Okay.
You can see some of it, right?
Yes.
She's very close to us now.
Yes.
Okay.
Got it. Yes. Yes, I see. Okay. And so then you hold some part, right? Some proportions of those NFTs as a team, and who else, right?
No, me and we are two initiators. We call ourselves initiators.
Yes.
So and we own, at the moment, we own 51%.
Yes.
Of the whole thing.
Yeah.
So when we are through the 4 iterations, because these 4 portraits we are going to do, then we end up in a decentralized organization. So we will let go at one point, so that for now we own 51%, but through the 4 iterations it will change the ownership. And we are now trying to understand how we, with blockchain, this is we are, what to say, we're sort of prototyping this kind of ownership. So what happens, and how do you then do these decisions in the future? And so we are trying to figure it out.
Got it. So you don't have this still yet governance model, right, established? So it's
yeah, and it's a process. But what is with this is that I think it's a real artwork. What you get here, it's a sound a very, very special soundscape you get together with this very special digital visual work. Yeah.
So, and this artwork is already mint, right, or not?
This artwork,
or it's only put it on this, I understand, an OpenSea platform, right? Or it's already put it on the Ethereum blockchain. What's the stage?
It's on OpenSea. Yes, you can find it on OpenSea.
But it's already mint. It's already put it, burned, or into Ethereum blockchain, or it's not.
Yes, it's minted. Yes,
it's minted, right? Okay, got it.
But we are still. They have a few features that is, so we are not at the moment, we're not really trying to sell it at the moment, because the app is, what do you call it? Apple, because we made it for iPhone, there is a lot of digital small problems.
Got it.
So when you make an app, Apple has to approve, exactly, and they will approve very soon, and then it's flying.
Yes.
But Apple has some problems with blockchain and crypto, so there are some things about it.
Got it. And can you tell the process, how you created this work? Right? First of all, how long all the process take?
I'm sorry?
How long process take from, I don't know, from the first idea till the implementation, right? How long it was?
For now, it's...
For now, yes, because it's already not, right, as you said, it's not
3 years. 3 years.
3 years. Okay,
yeah.
3 years.
And for the last, and I think I'm starting to describe the next work, and I think maybe it will take 1 year or something.
Got it. And what is okay? What are the main stages, right? You went through that.
The main stages now is actually to first get funds.
Yes.
Because it's very expensive to make digital artwork in a high quality. So that's one thing. And the next thing is to, my heart is at the arts. So I'm very proud of the artwork in portrait. Yes. And I want the next portrait should be the same high level quality.
Yes.
Yeah. And to have that, it will take me 6 months or something to actually really make the concept before I'm ready to. This time we will have to make 3D photographing in really multi-layered, so
yes.
that we can some sort of construct this generative thing, and that should be really connected with the sound. So yes. Yeah, so that it really gets an aesthetic. I always work with I'm not, what can you call it? It's the real world. I want her to be real. So I'm not animating or drawing things. Or no, it will be a real person into this. So, and that takes something to create it. Yeah.
Got it. Yes. Got it.
Yes. So it's not. There are no quick steps here.
Yes, got it. And what about and how long, right? You said 3 years, right? It's already, and how in what kind of stages, and how long, what?
In the beginning, I had to understand the whole. I couldn't grab the whole idea with blockchain.
Yes.
So in the beginning, I couldn't, I had to understand the potential in the technology, because, and I had to understand that for me, this is only interesting in that sense that it makes me, it enables me to own my art in another way, but also it enables me to I don't need millions of streams. I just need a smaller community that is interested in this to actually at one point get some income, maybe a little income. Maybe I'm not going for millions, but to have some sort of economic ecosystem. But what I find very interesting is that when this enables me, it enables also my collaborators. So it's and also my community. So if you as an audience co-own together with me, you also get income from being together with me in this developing process. So for you to communicate with me in doing this kind of art makes it very valuable, also because it's creating a dialogue between us, so that I can so I can be really nerd. Like, it can be so complicated what this work actually is. It has a lot of layers also in the way of thinking and the climate menu, and because the chef who made the menu, she is a human ecologist as well.
Got it.
So it's every little detail is thought.
Yes.
Throughout.
Okay. What is what one stage was just conceptual or research stage, and then was some conceptual. What other stages you went through?
A lot of doubt. There has been times when I couldn't really understand what I was doing, if you can follow me, and especially is this really meaningful? Do I really trust the technology? Because this what I'm doing will only really work as a digital artwork, and I really needed to make sense with the blockchain. And it does now. I'm really convinced now, but I haven't been all the time. So, and also it has been extremely difficult to communicate around this. So easy when I speak with people who understand blockchain or knows a little bit about it, but a lot of people, they don't understand it. And they don't even understand what an augmented reality experience is, or they have never heard of 3D video. And so just all these small things can sometimes be exhausting to communicate about it.
Got it. And what kind of software you have used for creating this piece?
What kind of
software?
Software.
Yes.
I've been working with it's not much software. I have had a developer with a normal computer to do the coding of the NFT, and I worked with the XR company who did the video recording, and that's a special software, that's Unity.
Yes,
That can
Unity,
do
okay.
that. Yeah, and so I was always on the side because it was a lot of different, and the sound normal, totally normal. We did some Foley extras to create the effects in the sound, but it was totally normal mixing process, and yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, so it's not for my next piece, as for the next iteration, I am looking into what kind of generative software will make sense to sort of process these research results from a researcher, but yeah, but no.
And can you imagine the same piece, right? But without NFT token, the same application, but there is no token. Would it work as well?
No. Some of it, there are elements of it, but I would definitely, of course, I can know the whole. It's an ecosystem. The piece has become an ecosystem. So to make it make sense, you have to feel the understanding of being together with Birgitte Qvist-Sørensen, and that we also have to put resources into. I mean, her and her staff are in Ukraine now and taking mines away and helping children in need and supplying with pure water and all this. And to have some sort of idea that to create this artwork, it's actually possible to be in some kind of also supportive resources. I don't know if you understand that, but yeah, no, it wouldn't make sense, because without the NFT that I see as a carrier for supporting me as an artist, I'm always poor as an artist in a way, and sort of go into a supportive, empowering in all levels. Yeah.
Got it. And can you imagine the same piece, but with NFT, but let's say maybe not without app, right?
No. I mean, as soon as you take it away, it becomes another piece. And what happens is, as soon as you take these things away, it takes away the option, the possibility to be in this together. And it changes the perspective that I am the artist and I have an artwork, and you can stand here and look at it, but you are not at all responsible in any way. Here, you're sort of, you risk something, and you both me as an artist, but also you as we come together, and we have, it's not political, but we are trying to speak about something together, which is very, very difficult, because it's the stake of the world in a way for the future we speak about together. And I'm not getting you on board if you're not coming into it, if you understand.
Yes, and could it be the same app with token, but without soundscape? Without sound, was there sound that is important, or we? Can you do it without sound?
No. No, because it's if I go out with my app and I make this menu and I sit with we sit 4 people around the table with this app going, we have the same sound. So the sound is creating a symphonic work. It's a symphonic work. And when we did the performances where 12 people had the menu, and first they were eating and they had normal sounds, and then we called for her to come. We had phones, so we gave them phones, and the sound came out of the phones. Then you suddenly had this symphonic soundscape, and if you just take her with a headset, it sounds amazing, but it also sounds amazing out of the phones together. So it's no.
Good.
As it is now, I think it's really a whole. And as soon as you take the NFT carrier away, it's not. Then I would say, let me. I did an eating opera where where audience was eating. So, and that was super interesting and very different. But this is something totally different.
Yes. And how work with your team, right? How collaboration with your team impacted or shaped the final result?
Everything, because I was from the beginning. Normally I'm in control. Normally I write a score and I decide all the details in that score in a way, or I'm really controlling everything. And for instance, and that is a wonderful, you can say, the word serendip, altså tilfældighed, det hedder to be accidental. There are some accidental things happening.
Yes.
For instance, the XR company, they are very much, they never did a 3D volumetric video before, because the technology is so unrefined that they are not ready to really make really beautiful productions with it, but they really like this opportunity to test it. But there is a lot of digital holes in the images, and it makes it very raw and very authentic in a way that it's not that polished digital visual thing happening. But then I think they somehow they thought they could make it more beautiful, or I don't know what, by placing some effects from Unity into it. So they took some aesthetics that reminds us of emojis, flowers, like what you see when she's coming, like shine and things like that. And for me, that is really, in a way, very naive. I mean, we know it all from when we are communicating with emojis or from children's video games and things. And that is applied into the work. And I'm so much in love with it, but I could never have suggested it myself. So like that, also the whole, I wanted a lot of things about the NFTs to happen. And there are some limitations. So how do we do that? And then at one point, before you mint, you have to take some decisions. And that was really nerve-wracking to actually, as I saw my developer said, but are you sure? Is this what you want? Because when we mint it, it's minted. And that feeling of really, things like that I have no control over. And for instance, I was on Twitter, and just the simple thing to have a wallet, and I was lured into a link that could have lured all my Ethereum from my wallet, and small things like that all the time has made it very special, I would say, and also really,
And what you learn as composer, what 3 things you learn, right, during creating the piece?
I learned that especially the most important thing is that the quality of the sound, the way I compose, the way to have the right knives, to have the right glass, to make the eyes the right way, to have the stones played the right way, in a way with the copper and with the, we are grunching pepper and we are doing things. That is totally, you can't cheat on quality. So we tried, in one point, we tried to sort of do something quickly and not that good sound. And I had to take it away, and I had to then start all over with the soundscape. So the quality of this kind of artistic work is always depending on the quality of the composition and the quality of the instruments. And that is whether it's a violin or it's a stone or whatever you have in your hand. And the mics should be the right mics. All these things, you cannot, there are no easy roads on that. So, and that I was tired at some point, so I thought maybe I can just go a little easy, but it's not possible. So that's a lesson I learned.
Got it. And the last question, what would be your suggestion to the other composers who just who has the interest but still not started creating their NFT pieces?
I think there are some great artists around exploring the options and possibilities now, both with new ways of streaming, new ways of ownership, new communities, and new ways that you actually work with this. And I think, like me, really going for your own artistic interest is, and then trying to explore what other artists are doing, or and most importantly, actually to connect. So what I did was I have bought I have bought more NFTs from my co-composers who are trying out different things. It's maybe a risky thing, but it doesn't have to be that expensive. But first of all, start to get a wallet, explore what other people are doing, be critical, contact, look into for instance, this Black Swan DAO that Penny Rafferty and what they're doing in Berlin. It's very interesting. It has a whole philosophical mindset behind. but there are a lot of, and for instance, there is a big international music organization. They are working actually with NFTs to try to make a more fair way of for music creators in poor countries over the world to actually use this technology to make some income. So, I mean, I met people who was interested in this, but they did not have a wallet, and they actually didn't own any crypto, and they were not on Twitter, and they didn't know anyone. And so the first step is actually to be curious and to actually find some of the artists that are developing this, and then be ready to co-develop this new way of using digital assets in a way.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my advice.
Thank you very much for this interview.
Yeah, I look forward to this. See you all, and you can contact me. It's okay.